My name is Bobby Clegg. I'm with the Texas Handgun Association. I sit on the board of directors. A young man by the name of Robert Dittman approached me at the NRA conference in Houston this year with a unique plan. He is totally blind and wants to teach other blind people how to shoot a firearm and earn their license to carry. Robert did earn his license to carry, and when he approached me, I thought about it for a few minutes and was wondering, what am I getting into? However, the Texas Handgun Association being completely about training and education, how could I pass up this opportunity? So we're out here on the range today. We just went through a blind training exercise for firearms, and it was awesome.
He's a blind shooter, and he just taught us to shoot blind, how blind people see, basically, at the shooting range.
Myself and two of my girlfriends came out here today to learn how to shoot blind. It's crazy as someone who is not blind to be blindfolded and experience a whole world and step into that zone that someone else, a lot of other people experience on a daily basis. And I just love this idea of empowering vulnerable people with the skills that they need to defend themselves.
So this was a good experience for me because even though I have a lot of experience shooting, I don't have a lot of experience shooting blind. I, in fact, have zero experience as a blind person. So I really enjoyed getting that perspective, seeing what it might be like for a blind person to build these skills, and it gave me some things to think about if I'm ever in a situation where I lose my eyesight for whatever reason. If I'm in a self-defense situation and I have to shoot blind, now I have a better sense of what my capabilities are and how I can continue to train moving forward.
We were taught how to shoot by an instructor who is blind, and he was teaching from his perspective of being blind and what that might be like, even for those who are sighted, that whole entire process. I was a sighted partner today with a blindfolded partner, and just seeing how that process is something that we had never thought of before. You know, it never crossed my mind that blind people shoot too, and I think as a sighted person, learning that, kind of being in their reality for a minute, is very fascinating.
I highly recommend Robert's class for instructors and obviously for the blinded folks. You need to have a sighted person help you. Robert's got a great program, so it's just our honor to actually endorse Robert, what he's doing. It was a great training session and always a good day at the range.
It's people that want to say yes. This is a new concept, and many people, blind people with firearms, they have a bit of concern, and I understand concern is fine and caution is fine. I can overcome caution and ignorance, and I will tell, and I'll be happy to show you why do we do things and how can be done safely. I hope today shows that. What the difficulty is when you have individuals that they willfully don't want to support it, and no matter how much we do, it's going to be very challenging to overcome that. But hopefully with safety training such as this and video like this, we'll be able to overcome the naysayers and bring a lot more shooters who are blind and visually impaired into the wonderful hobby of sport shooting, as well as being able to responsibly use firearms for self-defense and hunting.
What did you guys see? Aaron was actually blinded. We put a blindfold on him, and I was his sighted escort to help him out. So let's start off with Aaron. What did you learn the most?
Well, I gained an appreciation for what it's like to be blind, and what you might have to do if you're in a self-defense situation and you're blind. But I also can see now how a blind person could apply these skills and use a handgun successfully to defend themselves.
Yeah, somebody made a comment and says, what if I lose my vision in a gunfight? And so that was the sighted person's revelation to the incident. Bobby?
Well, one thing that I took away from here is, as a sighted instructor, it's a show and tell thing for me. I can show everything I need to show a student, and I can show the entire class. However, with non-sighted folks, it's a matter of repetition. I have to bring each person up, have them touch the gun, understand the gun, re-explain what they're looking at, and not know what they're looking at, what they're feeling, what they're touching, and it has to be repeated, and repeated. So that was interesting to me. It's not just a one-time deal and then we go shoot. It is a repetition. It is a job to be an instructor for non-sighted folks.
So what I also took out of this as an instructor And something I would share with all you instructors is using proper nomenclature and terminology and being consistent with your sighted and your blinded students so that they can get that word picture and it's consistent across the industry. It's their user manual language, it's basic book language, it's every wall chart language, and we get rid of the slang terms. Grab your piece, throw some rounds in the magazine. It didn't really work. So terminology that is consistent all across the board was my biggest takeaway as a teacher. And
Right.
Robert Dittman had a great class. We encourage you to look him up and take a look at his program. Thanks, we'll see you at the range.